Hello viewers, welcome to Ekam Academy. What do you observe from this image? Take a second and just have a look over this image. What do you observe from this? Yes, this image is fully covered with snow and there is no snow right here. That is what we are going to discuss about. Okay, so since 2 days you might have come across this particular news that Himachal and Kashmir, okay, which are known for their natural beauty, and where the people, many tourists from across the world are visiting every year annually. So those people are now in a question. What is that question? Is Kashmir losing out its beauty? Okay, yes or no? So why these things are happening in the present time world? What is the reason why Kashmir is devoid of snow? Okay, so you can see the same year, Jan 2023 and Jan 2024. You can see how much is the difference. So you might all have idea that Kashmir is considered as heaven on the earth. Bhutala Swargam antam kada. Okay, and it is also considered as Switzerland of India. So what Kashmir means, you know, two things will be coming to mind. Okay, one thing is its natural beauty, and now in the recent times terrorist related activities are also impacting the tourism activities and all. So these things, okay, so apart from these things, you know, Kashmir is so famous for tourism. So why this issue is happening? Okay, so what are the reasons? What is the main reason why snow is very less this year? Okay, all these things we are going to discuss as part of this video. So what are the things we are going to discuss? Why news? Reasons for dry winter. Okay, why the winter is dry? What are the reasons? We are also going to discuss two geographical phenomena, that is El Nino and La Nina, which you might have come across. Okay, and implications if there is no snowfall, what is then, okay, the issue. All these things we are going to discuss, and this forms part of your paper GS paper 1 geography, important geophysical phenomenon, physical geography and water resources. These are the things which are covered in this video. Then why it is in news? You can see this winter Kashmir and Ladakh, including the popular tourist destination Gulmarg. Okay, so this is very famous for tourism, okay, during winter because of snowfall. So they have lacked snowfall this year, and which is very important for promoting winter tourism, sky resorts and also other local livelihood opportunities. Okay, so this is all getting impacted because of low snow. So what is the first reason why there is less snowfall in Kashmir and Himachal this year? Means the answer is climate change. So what is happening? Okay, so for this to understand, you should understand what are the reasons first. Okay, so there is a decreasing trend of snowfall. If you see, what is the main reason? There is a decrease in the frequency of western disturbances. So for this you should understand what is western disturbances. Okay, so you might have come across this term in geography NCERTs when you're studying, right? So the name itself is saying western disturbance. Disturbance is nothing but when there is some disturbance in the pressure systems. Okay, so that means this is coming from the western side. That is why western. In geography you might have idea that winds or the cyclones or anything. Okay, so from the source of origin, from which side or direction it is originating, we'll name them from that direction itself. Okay, like northeast trade winds means they will be coming from northeast, they will be going to southwest direction or something. Okay, so here western disturbances means disturbances coming from the western side into India. Okay, so you can see here this is coming from Mediterranean Sea. Okay, so you can see here Mediterranean Sea. From Mediterranean Sea, this is a map, you can see from here they're traveling, and in between you have Caspian Sea near Iran. So they're grabbing the moisture from Mediterranean Sea and also from Caspian Sea. They're traveling all through land, okay, in Iran, Afghanistan, after crossing Pakistan, in India. Okay, they're shedding that moisture in the form of rainfall. But interestingly, when these western disturbances cause rainfall in India, means for that to understand, you need to know what are the sources of rainfall in India. You know, there are three main sources of rainfall in India. What is the three main sources? You have southwest monsoons, you know, that is a major source of rainfall in India. Second, you have northeast or retreating monsoon. Third, you have western disturbances. Okay, so you know they will be part of June to September. Okay, so then northeast monsoon will be active during October and November. This western disturbances will be prominent during winter season. This is what you have to keep in mind. Western disturbances bring winter rainfall. So you know there are two types, mainly three types of cropping seasons in India, right? You have Kharif, Rabi and Zaid seasons, right? So Kharif means that will be there during monsoon. So southwest monsoon will feed that particular crops. But what about Rabi crops which are famous during winter season? That will be fed by these western disturbances in northern India. Okay. So what are these western disturbances means? Large eastward moving rain bearing winds. Okay. So rain bearing winds means they will be grabbing the moisture right from Mediterranean Sea to Caspian Sea till India, and these will be originating beyond land, that is near Mediterranean Sea, and they are the primary source of winter precipitation. Okay. And in the Himalayan region, right from this Rajasthan till even they passes sometimes till northeastern area also, and they pick up moisture from Mediterranean Sea as well as Atlantic Ocean and all. They'll be shedding in the northern India. This is what we have seen. That is the first reason. Means there is a decreased frequency of western disturbances. If you see, every year almost 4 to 6 western disturbances will be formed during winter season. But if you see recently, there is a decline in frequency of western disturbances. Means this 4 to 6 number has decreased. That is why it is resulting in dry conditions in Kashmir and Himachal. If you know, most of the Kashmir is fed by snow itself. Okay, so because of that snow only, so many glaciers, and from the glaciers we are having like so many rivers that are feeding India, northern India, like Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra. All these are originating from glaciers itself, right? So snow is very much important, but this is contributing to dry conditions in Kashmir. Then what is this? Another reason is El Nino event. You know what is El Nino, right? El Nino is nothing but simple to understand. Okay, I'll just explain with the help of a diagram. So very simple thing, most of the people will feel this concept as complicated. Okay, so normally understand, this is the coast of South America and this is Australian coast. Okay, so normally, you know, during normal year, this is the equator. Okay, above equator you have northeast trade winds and here you have southeast trade winds, right? Okay, so what happens is they will be active during a normal year. Trade winds will be active, means whatever the level they require, that will be there. Okay, but what happens when trade winds, okay, these trade winds, if they become weak, means due to some atmospheric conditions, in some years, at least 2 to 5 years once or 2 to 7 years once, they will become weak. In that situation, when whenever these trade winds become weak, at that time what happens? Normally warm water has to pile up near the western coast. Okay, that is like Australian coast. But whenever these trade winds, okay, when they become weak, so normally the warm water from here will be pushed towards this side by northeast trade winds when they're active. But if they become weak, what happens? The warm water will be flowing this side and they will be settling here. In normal situation, here cold water should be there. Means if you remember, there is Atacama Desert also on the coast of South America, right? Okay, that means if you have remembered the concept of warm ocean current and cold ocean current. Okay, so warm ocean currents are responsible for more rainfall, cold ocean currents are responsible for dry conditions. So naturally here on the coast of Peru, there will be dry conditions because of accumulation of cold water, because of cold currents. Okay, Peruvian current or Humboldt's current you call. So that used to be here in the normal situations. But because of weakening of trade winds, what happens is this cold water will be moving, okay, in the downward direction, and warm water will be piling up on the coast of Peru. That is abnormal thing. Okay, so this is an exceptional thing that happens very rarely. So because of this warm, what happens when warm water will pile up here? Rainfall happens where? Here. Okay, so there will be abundant rains on the coast of Peru, which is normally arid dry region that will experience large scale rainfall, and normally this area used to get higher rainfall, but these areas will experience dry conditions. So this is happening during an El Nino. That is why even India is also here, right? Okay, so some part there. So even India also experiences dry conditions during occurrence of an El Nino. So what happens in La Nina? The reverse conditions happens. Means here during El Nino, the weak trade winds will be playing an important role. Okay, but in La Nina, trade winds becomes more stronger, okay, than normal year. Then what will happen? Here cold water will be there and here warm water will be there, and more pile up of warm water compared to normal year happens, because of which rainfall happens here. Okay, you can see this is piling up of warm water on the coast of Australia. So because of which rainfall happens in Australia, Indonesia, Indian side, and the dry conditions what normally will be there in the coast of Southern America, that will be there as it is. So El Nino is a reverse condition, okay. So El Nino is bad for India and La Nina is good for India. That is what you have to keep in mind. So what is this impact of El Nino on this issue is, El Nino, because of prevailing El Nino event, means already El Nino event started. Because of this is also showing an impact, okay. So as I told you, El Nino, if it is forming, it will create dry and arid conditions in India, because of which even Kashmir snow also got reduced. So this is what El Nino and La Nina. El Nino is nothing but warm phase. That means a band of warm water will be spreading from west to east in the equatorial Pacific, central and eastern Pacific, okay. And La Nina is the opposite, where cold water will be spreading from east to west. Here west to east, here east to west. So they together form part of ENSO. That means El Nino Southern Oscillation, ENSO you call. So these two together, okay, they're responsible for global weather patterns. And sometimes, you know, every year they don't occur. Every 2 to 7 years once they occur normally, okay, both El Nino and La Nina. So this is what another reason for reduced snowfall in Kashmir and Himachal. Then another reason is rising temperatures. You know, compared to Delhi, interestingly, Srinagar has recorded higher temperatures. That means because of global warming and climate change, there is reduced snowfall also. Okay, and there are higher temperatures recorded in upper elevations compared to the plain areas. This is another reason behind this. Then what are the impacts you should know, right? Whenever there is no snowfall, it will have some consequences also. What are long-term implications? Okay, generation of less hydroelectricity, because we generate hydroelectricity from river streams, and you know, in Kashmir, rivers like Jhelum and all, so you know, Srinagar is on the banks of Jhelum river, okay. So this Jhelum river is snow fed, okay. In case if this river, it doesn't have snow, okay, then the course of the river will be lessened. So if there is no water in Jhelum river, then how hydroelectricity will be generated? Yes, okay. So that is one issue. And increase in the rate of glacier melting. If there is dry conditions, glacier will melt. So in like again, if there is no snow in the next year, then it will exacerbate the problem also. It will increase. So if you see in December, almost in December 2023, almost compared to previous year, 78% less snowfall was recorded in Kashmir. And in this year, January, almost till now, 100% less snowfall was recorded compared to the earlier year. That means only hope they have is this February, okay. So if February there is some snow, this tourist places and all will have, or the local people who are like living on the tourism for their survival and all, they will have some ray of hope. Otherwise it will become a difficult situation for them, okay. And there will be an impact on drinking water supply, and also there will be minimal groundwater recharge. If there is no snow, there won't be melting and there won't be any recharge of groundwater. What are short-term implications? Increased forest fires. Forest fires because of dry conditions. We have seen in Amazon also, and even Australian bushfires, if you do remember. Dry conditions will exacerbate these forest fires. Then agricultural drought also can increase. There will be drop in crop production, and if these dry conditions will be there, then there can be a chance of early spring. If early spring is there, then early flowering of plants can happen. That will result in decreased crop yield also. Then this is impacting the moisture to the soil. If there is no snow and no melting of snow, then moisture to the soil also will be less. So then crops like apples, saffron, walnuts, which are mainly prominent in this area of Kashmir, also gets impacted. So these are the all implications of low snowfall or no snowfall in Kashmir and Himachal regions. Now it's time for PYQ based question. So you can see with reference to Indian Ocean Dipole. So this question was asked in 2017. So IOD phenomenon is characterized by difference in sea surface temperature between tropical Western Indian Ocean and tropical Eastern Pacific Ocean. IOD phenomenon can influence El Nino's impact on the monsoon. Select the correct answer using the following codes. So here, Indian Ocean Dipole is a situation same what happens like in El Nino. The same thing happens, but El Nino is restricted to Central and Eastern Pacific Ocean. Okay, but this Indian Ocean dipole is a similar situation that happens in Indian Ocean. Okay, so if you see, this question was asked, most of the people will think this question is a complicated thing, but whenever UPSC is using different or hard terminology, understand that there will be a clue in the statements itself. UPSC is not complicated thing. Okay, so UPSC wants to make the job of aspirants simpler, but they wanted the people who will think in a smart way. Okay, that is what you have to understand. Although they have given a difficult term to understand, they have given a clue here. You can see difference in sea surface temperature between tropical Western Indian Ocean and tropical Eastern Pacific Ocean. See, if it is Pacific Ocean, then why can we name it as Indian Ocean dipole? Otherwise we should say Indian and Pacific Ocean dipole, or we should name it as Pacific Ocean dipole. Okay, so here wantedly they have given this as a mistake. That means you have to eliminate this by your smart work. Okay, after eliminating one, second statement, IOD can influence El Nino impact on the monsoon. So that can be because the waters, you cannot demarcate waters, right? Pacific and Indian Ocean waters are same. Okay, so there can be an impact on El Nino also. So the option is only 2. Then practice question for prelims. Identify the mountain range with the following features. Coldest place in India, that is Dras, is lying in this particular range. Mana Pass is one of the famous passes of this range. Which of the ranges of Himalayas having these characteristics? Okay, so answer in the comment section. Ladakh range, Pir Panjal range, Askan range and Shivalik range. Practice question for mains. Most of the unusual climatic happenings are explained as an outcome of El Nino effect. Do you agree? This is a question asked in 2014. Okay, so you should write what is El Nino, why unusual climate is associated with El Nino, what is its impact. Okay, keep with reference to India also in mind. So as we have come to an end of video, we have discussed interestingly why Kashmir is devoid of snow this year. Okay, what are geographical phenomena associated with it, what are western disturbances, what is El Nino, La Nina we have seen, and we have seen practice question for prelims and mains. So stay tuned for next updates. Thank you.